You're very welcome to our Virtual Learning New Farm Academy series. This is a webinar on the subject of autumn grassland weed control and some top tips. My name is Martin Fitzpatrick. I am Technical Agronomy Manager with New Farm in Ireland. Some of the topics then I'd like to go through in this webinar series. I'd like to talk about late summer control of perennial weeds in grassland, sward destruction for reseeding of grassland, weed control in autumn sown Leys, weed control in autumn sown Leys with clover, autumn control of Ragwort, and also environmental stewardship. So then why is late summer one of the best times to control perennial weeds in grassland? So perennial weeds are at the leafy stage post-cutting or grazing at this time of year. There's active growth in warm, moist soil, so there's lots of growth still going on. Translocation downwards as weeds senesce or die off for the winter. Best efficacy and root kill from herbicide application because you're getting that good root kill at this time of year. There's no weed competition next spring then, so it's a good time to look ahead to grazing next spring. So one of the agronomy solutions then is PasturePack for broadleaf weed control. So PasturePack contains Trust and Tandis. So two products, there's three actives there in the PasturePack containing 2,4-D, dicamba and fluroxypyr. It's a proven mix with a wide weed spectrum, offering effective control of thistles, buttercups, docks, dandelions, nettles, cow parsley. As a 14-day grazing interval, can be applied then up to the end of September. And you want to target the leafy regrowth of weeds. Get them at the right growth age. Some more details then about PasturePack. It's used as a tank mix in established Leys, so the Trust and Tandis. There is a systematic action of 2,4-D, dicamba and fluroxypyr in the three active ingredients. It's very safe to grass. Comes in a convenient 2-hectare or 5-acre pack at full rate. It can be applied then from April to end of September. Water volume 200 litres per hectare. 14-day grazing interval. Very importantly, there's no residue issues in silage or manure with use of PasturePack. And a Trust then can be used through a knapsack sprayer. Just to recap then some of the weeds then, what can you control with PasturePack? So it's broad spectrum. Some of the main weeds that you commonly find in grassland, such as docks, thistles, nettles, buttercup, dandelion, all controlled by PasturePack. It's very safe to grass, can be used on silage and grazing grounds. As I said before, knapsack. It's very good value for money, given that broad range of weeds it offers, weed control it offers. So why would you use it then? Obviously to maximize your grassland yields, minimize weed content, better utilization of the grazing, more grass, less weeds, make better quality silage. Again, you're reducing the weed count, and also to extend your pasture life. This time of year then there's a lot of reseeding going on of pasture, so we need to plan in advance what product we're going to use for sward destruction. So Kyleo at 5 litres per hectare is an ideal option. Kyleo itself contains glyphosate and 2,4-D. It's a product with an inbuilt surfactant. Controls many of the glyphosate tolerant weeds. So it's ideal for destruction of older swards, including those tough perennial weeds such as nettles, stalks and thistles that your straight standard glyphosate product may not control successfully. You need to leave a 1-month interval for direct drilling for grass and clover after application. So once you've successfully established your new sown ley, then you need to look at agronomy solutions for weed control once the new sown ley is established. So a product we offer is Tomahawk 2. In terms of new sown ley, then the rate is 0.75 5 litres per hectare. Can be also used on established grassland and a range of crops from maize, wheat, barley, oats, rye, triticale. Crops undersown with grass may be sprayed providing the grasses are tillering. It's the ideal option for chickweed control, so chickweed up to 50 millimeters in new sown Leys, comes in a 5 litre pack size, and it's only a 7-day grazing interval. Some of the options for weed control then in autumn sown Leys with or without clover. So just in terms of before you start anything, your sward destruction, so your Kylio at 5 litres per hectare. If you're ploughing and reseeding grass after 7 days, just on Kylio it's 7 days, or with clover 14 days after spraying it, or direct drill 1 month after. In terms of new sown Leys then, weed control, you have your no clover scenario. An option there you can use is Embutone and Tomahawk. If there's clover, we have a product called Clover Max at 7 litres per hectare. So I'll just talk a bit more about Embutone and Clover Max in the next couple of slides. I'll talk a bit more in detail then about Embutone and Clover Max, which are two clover safe products. They contain the active 2,4-DB, which will be withdrawn from sale by distribution by the 31st of October 2020. Just a quick note then, the final use up period by the farmer or end user is the 31st of October 2021. So just to be aware of that. Just some more detail then on weed control in autumn sown Leys with clover. One of our options then in detail is Embutone at 4.5 litres per hectare. So Embutone contains 400 grams per litre of 2,4-DB. It's an SC, comes in a 10 litre pack size, can be used on grass from the 4-leaf stage, clover from the first trifoliate, can be used on white and red clover and also lucerne, also undersown cereals, used at a water volume of 200 to 300 litres per hectare, grazing interval of 2 weeks. So some of the key weeds then that Embutone would control at the new sown lay stage, so fat hen, shepherd's purse, charlock, fumitree, knotgrass, red shank, small nettle, sow thistle, seedling dock, seedling thistles and seedling buttercup. So our other clover safe weed control option for autumn sown Leys is Clover Max at 7 litres per hectare. So Clover Max contains 240 grams per litre of 2,4-DB plus 40 grams per litre of MCPA. It's an SC, comes in a pack size of 10 litres, can be used on grass from the 4-leaf and tillering stage, clover from the first to the 4th trifoliate leaf. It's white and red clover safe, but not for use on established clover. Spring and autumn application with no specific time cut-off. Can be used on cereals undersown with clover, a grazing interval of 2 weeks. Some of the key weeds then that Clover Max controls at seedling stage then are seedling weeds, buttercups, docks, fat hen, pennycress, plantain and shepherd's purse. Greater than the 2-leaf stage then controls charlock, flicksweed, fumitree, knotgrass, mustard, small nettle, orish, poppy, red shank and sow thistle. Weed control in autumn sown Leys then that are not clover safe. Option there is Embutone at 2.5 litres per hectare with Tomahawk 2 at 0.75 litres per hectare. That's particularly key in control of chickweed and common mouse here. You're bringing in that fluroxypyr. And just illustrated there is a picture of a trial from last year where we used this particular mix on a new sown lay. You can see the before and after pictures there, so quite effective control of chickweed and common mouse here. So what are some of the best use guidelines then in terms of weed control in autumn sown Leys? Allow your glyphosate products such as Kylio 2 to 3 weeks to work fully pre-sowing to get that effective weed kill. Grass must be sprayed or applied at the minimum of the 4-leaf stage. Clover at the minimum of the first trifoliate leaf. Apply before 6 true leaves of weeds. So get in there at the optimum time, basically, before they become too advanced. You can apply throughout the year during active growth. 5 to 8 weeks post sowing is probably an ideal time. In terms of water volume, then you're looking at generally 250 to 300 litres per hectare, always ensuring a good coverage and very heavy weed covers. Nozzles, then ideally your flat fan medium will suffice. Allow 4 hours for rain fastness and a 2-week grazing interval post application. So moving on from new sown Leys back to established grassland and talking about autumn control of ragwort in established grassland. So why is autumn the best time to control ragwort? We will cover this topic in more detail with more content in our specific ragwort control webinar, but just some quick notes here. Ragwort is a biennial, so it takes 2 years to complete its biological life cycle. So it produces a leafy rosette in the autumn of year 1, then in year 2 it goes to flower. So that rosette stage is the best time or target or growth stage even for herbicide application. In the autumn time we have that downward translocation which I spoke about. Autumn application avoids toxic ragwort material in hay or silage in the next spring or summertime. Some of the agronomy solutions then for autumn control of ragwort. We offer a product called Trust, which contains 2,4-D and dicamba. So Trust is applied at 3.5 litres per hectare. It offers excellent ragwort control. Apply at the rosette stage, so before stem elongation up to the end of September. So in our illustration there we have the ideal growth stage pictured of a ragwort plant pre-application. Control usually takes 6 weeks, so you need to give it a bit of time. You won't see immediate results. So fields for hay and silage the following spring summer should be treated the preceding autumn, just to make sure it's too late by the time the spring comes and they may not be at the right growth stage for control, or there may be frost which could compromise product performance at that time of year. So common ragwort may need a minimum of 2 years applications for complete control. So depending on how bad the situation is in your field, you may need a couple of seasons for complete control. Just very importantly then, animals should be excluded from treated areas until any ragwort has completely recovered or died and there's no visible sign of dead materials. So often when ragwort is senescent or dying, it becomes more palatable to the animals, so you just need to be very careful on return of animals to pastures which have been treated for ragwort. As a timely reminder to you then, I'll just go through some notes on stewardship. So be sure to check out our Spray Wise video series, which gives a thorough overview of the best use and tips to make sure we keep surface waters clean and free of pesticide. So some of the actions as a farmer you can undertake then is keep boom spray at least 5 meters back from all water courses. Use of low drift nozzle types, so the 3-star air inclusion types to reduce drift is a measure you can undertake. Do not exceed the maximum application rates. Do not spray fields or paddocks if rain is expected within the day or 24 hours. Do not spray on waterlogged fields where tire marks are visible. Do not wash out the sprayer near drains or in the yard. Also consider use of weed wipers in sensitive water catchment areas, particularly I'm thinking in terms of soft rush control. I'd like to thank you very much for listening to our series on autumn weed control, and please look out for more virtual learning content from New Farm in the future. Thank you.